Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the couch with us to talk about I think a topic that all Floridians have been concerned about in the past couple of years.
Yes, DeSantis' pointy boots.
Insurance. And from Blanchard Insurance, we have the B-Boys on the couch. How you guys doing?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having us.
Good to see the B-Boys. All right, so these are the guys. If you have a question about your insurance, home, auto, health, boat.
Yeah.
What else? Throw them all out there.
Commercial,
what's the
life.
weirdest that you handle?
The weirdest that
Fish,
we handle.
voice insurance. What do you got?
Pet insurance.
Pet insurance.
Oh,
I have pet insurance.
There you go.
You gonna make fun of me? I got pet insurance. My pets have it. I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
My wife bought it.
The pets bought it.
But it worked.
Yeah.
It did work. We took him in for
Liability.
like a big procedure, and they were like, "It's free."
Nice.
Yeah. Health insurance.
Yeah, man, you got to have it.
So let me
The
ask
B-Boys from Blanchard are here, and we're going to get down to some insurance, y'all.
Let me ask you right off the bat. So I imagine that I'm like a lot of, I'll call them Florida Joes.
Florida Joes.
And
Yeah.
We got a joke here.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
we got a Joe. We have a Joe.
I get up.
You know what we did? That was his low-key way of saying, you just called us the B-Boys. You didn't say our names. Did you pick up that?
Well, that's what I was looking up earlier. To try to find their
It
names.
all comes
Because
full
I-
circle.
we branded too hard. Right?
Well, that's
just
the
the
thing.
B-Boy.
When you go too hard sometimes, and then you end up losing your identity
Like
to the
Joe.
B-Boys.
Yeah. Okay, I'll explain how my
Yes.
brain works.
Be honest. Be honest.
No, when you give yourself a nickname, that's what sticks in my mind,
Yeah.
and it always has since the day I started radio.
Sure.
And if you call yourself, what was that guy's name from JR? They called him Farty McGee or whatever. They were,
What the
Boner.
hell are you talking?
His name was
I
Boner.
have no idea what he's talking about.
Anyway.
What's that guy, Boner McGee? What are you talking about?
And then Cabin Boy, the same thing. Whopper. It's all the.
Cabin Boy is a realtor. Whopper is the vice president and
At the
COO of Cigar City Brewery. You can't call these guys Whopper Jr. and Cabin Boy.
Yeah.
They're
I'm not
50
gonna lie. It took me a while to figure out who Tom and Dan was.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. B-Boy 1 and B-Boy 2. I don't know.
Who do you like more? I'm putting you on the spot. Who do you like more? You can be honest.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
all friends. You can be
I
honest.
think both are funny.
No,
Okay,
he
we're both
likes
funny.
Daniel more.
Everybody likes me more.
Because you're
Yeah.
joking around or whatever.
I do this. I do this right here. I do that. And they like that.
I like
And then
Thank
you tell him to
Thank
go
you.
play pinball, and then I get in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, stop playing.
We
Get
gotta
down to
get-
business.
get to work.
Mean
Get to
cop,
work.
Dan's a good cop.
Listen here, you B-boys. Get in there. I don't even know your names. Let's get to work.
No,
Got his
now.
whip cracking it out of
Yeah, this guy's a real whip cracker.
No, it just stuck in my mind now. I just know you as the B-boy. So when I was like,
Yeah.
oh, B-boys
Well,
are here. And then I'm like,
That's
God damn.
Joe.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know one.
What's
my name?
You know one.
Okay,
What's his
hold
name?
on. I'm
this
going to
is
guess.
Don't go fast with your guess.
I was scanning my
letters.
emails quick as hell, and I was like, my
My eternal vitality on running together.
my owner,
Jamie.
but Jamie. Then I saw a random Andrew. So I'm gonna guess it's Andrew. I knew it.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah,
I'll give you
right,
one of
yeah,
these.
yeah.
Hold on. I'll give you a siren. You did it.
And then my plan was like, oh yeah, I think Andrew's one of them. So I'm gonna say Andrew and look in between them, and then whoever
Yeah.
answers, I'll know Andrew.
Gotcha.
And then the other guy,
I'm
I'll
just glad
never
you didn't
mention
call
the
Joe
name.
Jamie and Andrew Hoover. You know, because that is something you would do. It's like combine people's
All right,
weird.
we'll,
Okay.
we'll stick with the B-boys.
All right, let's do
yeah.
what we need to
Because
do.
I'll definitely forget this for next time.
Let's do it. Let's do what we need to do. I hate to be the voice of
Okay.
reason here, but let's get to brass tacks,
Yeah,
as my
alright.
father would say, and let's dig into some insurance and some of the
Well-
changes and things that might be happening in the state of Florida.
Back to Florida, Joe.
The totally. I would also like to add the completely free state of Florida.
So I'm stressed out. My kids, I got to
going
get
on?
them to school. I'm just
Yeah.
saying what Florida Joe goes through.
Oh, okay. I got
And
it.
then
Okay, got
my
it.
old lady, she's bitching at me
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. And
And all you want to do is ride your Harley with, with your sleeves off.
I just want to go to work,
Yeah.
put in the least amount of effort possible, get
Yeah,
home.
a couple inappropriate jokes.
Yeah. And
Get home.
I want to watch NFL football.
Take your kid up to Target. Get him a couple skibbity toilet
man.
blind boxes.
Yeah. go to some websites, business.com,
sure.
and then repeat the next day,
Yeah.
and then
Until you die.
You don't want to think about your insurance.
yes.
No.
So, but then my wife comes and she's bitching at me that our insurance went up another $1,000 this year, and I'm like, what? And then they're like, our car insurance went up, and then I'm like, oh my God. And then
And
I'm
I
like,
don't even know why you insured your truck. I've been in your truck a couple times in the last couple weeks. I was without car the last couple weeks. I had an accident.
Same.
And I was riding with Tom. I wouldn't
Do you have
even.
rental
I would
insurance?
not even insure that. It smells like a sour milk factory in that thing. It's horrible.
Well,
It's horrible in there.
insurance has nothing to do with how we treat the inside of my car.
I mean, it's not worth insurance. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, what do they?
No, that's not how it
The
works.
liability.
He's got some spoiled milk in there.
No, I mean, I don't think you could. The people would die if you ran into somebody. They would just die from the fumes, not from the
You
accident.
just got like wrappers on the floor. And
Oh boy, does he? Do you want to go out there and see it? Do you want to go take the
You're,
b-boys out?
you're
to
putting them
your,
on blast. though.
take the b-boys out to your car.
So I will tell you this: that
You make love in the bed of that truck.
no. Crystal was bitching about our car insurance. She's like, we pay like $350 a month, and I'm like, God damn,
That's a lot.
And then I'm just like, well, I guess that's just what it is. I don't know. Like,
That's what I do.
Why are you telling me? Call him.
You're just taking it on the chin.
Well, I let my wife handle all of it, right? Because I'm not giving them money.
So then I'm like,
Smart
well,
guy.
call Blanchard.
Yeah.
That's what I've been telling our listeners to do. I don't know
Maybe
why I
should
haven't
ju-
done it.
And wait a minute, they say they're just like me. I can reverse engineer this. If they're just like me, then that means I'm just like them. So I can call Blanchard too.
And so this is what drives me insane.
Okay.
Because I think to myself, I'm like, well, everything, whatever we have, it has to be whatever it costs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I say call Blanchard and get you, a better rate.
So
but-
you don't really believe in like an
Well, I don't
inflated
even-
cost or somebody charging you more than you
And
should.
like,
or,
it can't be
or-
that much.
Or you don't believe in coverage that
Not,
maybe
all,
you don't.
not all carriers are the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
okay,
maybe
yeah.
you don't even need it. Maybe the coverage you have is not specific to what you have, and there's a policy that would like maybe reflect that better, and you could talk to Andrew and
So Crystal
Joe,
called
the
them,
boys.
called Blanchard,
Yeah.
and then like a week later, she's like, our insurance is $130 a month less now.
there you go.
And then I'm like, well, how is that possible?
Yeah.
I mean, she called Blanchard, and
Yeah.
Blanchard got that. So now we're saving $130 a month.
Yes.
Same insurance.
Yep.
And then I'm like, how does that? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's easy to do. It didn't cost us anything.
No,
And,
it's just an inquiry, right? Like, oh, well, maybe you guys should.
Okay.
Like, how
Yeah.
easy is it? So, if you have insurance and you look at it and like, holy crap, this is like,
just to like be transparent. We work with 6 auto insurance companies, and some of them, obviously, have better rates than others, and they want more business on the books. So some of them aren't looking for any new business. So that's kind of where we're at, where, we have these companies like Travelers that are really competitive for certain risks. So, it just depends on, what type of risk you are, and that's the rate that you're going to fit best in. If it's like Progressive, Travelers, Mercury, Safeco, any of these companies, it's good to check your rates, especially when they're going up 20%.
Can't hurt.
It doesn't hurt to check. So
like-
there's definitely we save your clients sometimes, hundreds of bucks. It depends, sometimes thousands. It just depends on what company you're with, and you got to look around now.
chat room asking, does Blanchard only cover Florida, or are they out of state BDMs? Are they able to use you guys as well?
We have a couple other states, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Those are our major ones.
Gotcha.
We have a couple of other ones too, just kind of
Mostly
depends, so-
Florida, but yeah, we do Georgia too.
So you basically cover the states that like vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
Southern
hearing.
boys.
Yeah,
we love
yeah,
the
yeah,
Southern
yeah.
region.
I like that Georgia style. I do like a vinegar. I'm a pig guy. I am not a brisket man. I am not.
No?
Texas style barbecue can eat
gotta get
my
those ribs.
A.
And so,
I'm a pork.
What's your
vinegar.
favorite barbecue place?
of all time? Fox Brothers,
around
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, around here.
Around here, it's gonna surprise some people.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get some emails. City Barbecue right up the street, and it's a chain.
Never
Don't
been there. I'll
at
have
me.
to try it.
Don't at me. Smoked on site, consistent. Go try
Barbecue's
it.
one of those things. I was thinking about it the other
Smoked
day. I'm
on
like,
site,
unless I
consistent.
see it, I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go try it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go eat it now. It's like a craving.
Go try it.
I don't. It's not something in your everyday.
You got to try. The reason they
gotta
won
try
my
that
heart,
place, yeah.
vinegar-based barbecue swine wine. They have a barbecue sauce called swine wine, It is a tangy vinegar base that'll slap your fillings. That's what you want.
All
That's what you
right.
want.
You're
in
Giving me
barbecue.
the cravings already.
These are my buddies. We're gonna go hang out at the
Let's
barbecue.
get back to insurance, people. All right, we talk barbecue. Listen,
I'm hanging with my friends.
I need
I'm
to know.
hanging with my buddies.
Yeah,
we're
so-
growing our hair out. We're eating barbecue.
Heck yeah.
So let's say
This guy's no fun.
I'm the average Florida Joe listening to this, and they're like, well, I don't know what the hell, like if I'm paying way too much or whatever. So what do I need before I call you? Like, okay, like I know I have car insurance, I got a homeowner's insurance, got boat insurance, so do I need to find all those policies
Yeah,
and
it's
then
best
call
to
you
have
guys?
those policies and then email them to us, or we can take a look at them so we can compare it apples to apples. Make sure we're giving you the same coverages, and we're going off of what you currently have, and then we can advise based off the coverages that you have and asking some questions like what coverages you should have if you're running too low coverages. We can kind of have that discussion. It's usually we try and stay on the phone with 30 minutes with a client initially to get all that information, and then after that we kind of go through email, whatever we need to do to get that information across. But for the most part it's usually a call for about 30 minutes going over what they currently have and then what we can offer.
Yeah, everyone's different too, so not everyone has the same needs. If you have a bunch of assets that you need to protect, you need to carry higher limits. If you're a early 20-year-old starting off their life, you can kind of compromise a little bit there. So it's it's really just about having a conversation with the client, trying to figure out their needs and what suits them best. Sometimes we're able to save people money. Sometimes they come to us with the objective of saving money, and we look at their policy, and there's so many holes in it. There's the potential of people like to save money, of course, that's important, but saving money sometimes up front can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in the back end. So it really is just about trusting your agent, finding someone that knows what they're talking about, and finding a product that suits your needs rather than just kind of some blanket policy out there. Like, you call a lot of these larger companies directly, they're selling you based off of price. They're not trying to get you the best policy or coverages. So it's it's important to have someone that has your best interests at heart.
There's definitely companies out there that'll get you in the door for cheap, and then they'll raise you up 50%, and then you're stuck with the new rate for the new business for that year. So like when we tell people like, hey, this is only going to go up 8%, we're predicting like this company's been in business for 50 years. It's going to save you money in the long run. So like we're kind of going and trying to give good advice on that stuff. We're not just like trying to get you the lowest thing.
Gotcha.
Is it like the storage unit industry in which they just slowly increase your rate and you don't notice until all of a
guys
sudden
know
you're like,
any-
well, I'm paying $300 a month for this.
We need to
There's
start.
garbage in there.
You guys want to go in our storage unit? I'm
scared.
That's a
don't
good
know.
business model. You just,
Yeah.
the whole
How
business
many you got right now?
is based on
We're
human
looking to
laziness.
buy. We're looking to buy. Yeah, and then
It's
what
the
you
best
do,
gamble in the world.
And then what you do is, by the time that they're like running out of space, they can't afford it or anything, you're like, I could give you another one. So you can put it. You can start over again. Start putting more stuff in it.
Yeah.
You
You
ever
can
see
save money if you get in here and move it all.
Isn't it
there.
sort of taking advantage of hoarders a little bit?
Oh
right?
yeah. Hoarders, human laziness.
Yeah.
It takes advantage of mental illness.
I feel like I could get in there and sweet talk these old Beanie Baby grandmas, and man, they'd be like, "Oh, he's the nicest storage unit owner," and I'm just raking in the dough.
Monetize.
They don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
Storage
cares?
Wars. You remember that show?
Yeah, I still watch. But I like watching the old ones where the guy goes, "Yep."
Anytime you can monetize mental illness,
Yeah.
best business model.
Oh, it is. It really is. Yeah.
they-
Kanye West
they
is doing it
can't
right now with his
change.
with his scuba boots. I bought a pair of those
He
damn
is
scuba
mental
boots.
illness.
You got a pair?
Yeah, I got a pair of them.
So-
In fact, now if you call Blanchard today,
No,
and
that's
I
not a
will
thing.
send you
No.
a pair of Kanye West scuba
No,
boots.
You
that's
heard it
not
here.
true.
Well, I can make it true. I'll just buy the boots
No.
and send them to everybody. They're only $20. Have you seen that? His website's very reasonable. It's very reasonable.
There's no way.
What size are you? One,
if
2,
you
or
bu-
3?
If you buy those scuba boots,
There's
you'll-
only 3 sizes. 1, 2, or 3. What size are you? What do you think you are?
It's a good way to sell clothes.
You know what? You're very lean and in shape. You're a 1.
Okay.
No offense.
one
You're
small.
You're
These
a
guys are
1
tall.
plus. You're a
I'm
1 plus.
Maybe a 2.
Maybe a 2.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
a
might just
2.
get a 2. I think a little bit,
Me, I'm sedentary. I'm a 3 all day.
Three's
I'm a
big.
big fat 3.
So, a couple things. You mentioned when you got here that the fires out in California could have an effect on Florida's insurance, and I thought
That's
that
not
was
fair.
Yeah. I suppose I don't live in California.
That's like the most. That's the most like simple and sensitive thing I could say.
Yeah, so
That's
far.
not fair. Gosh.
I can understand like a North Georgia affecting us, but California, anyway.
Yeah, how does that work?
So basically, there's a thing called reinsurance, which is essentially insurance for the insurance companies. So when they go to the market to purchase this insurance, it's gonna, the price is gonna vary depending on, multiple factors. One of those is profitability across the entire country. So, having fires in California means that those insurance companies are paying out money right now.
Yeah.
So they're losing money, which means that when these companies go to reapply for reinsurance again, the price is going to be a little bit higher.
And just to clarify, the reinsurance pays for catastrophic losses. So the insurance company pays into another pool of insurance that pays for these losses.
Yeah, so I mean it's kind of a little complicated, but yeah, so it's essentially covers catastrophic losses. So when you have a hurricane that comes by, the insurance company isn't the one that's fully on the hook for the amount of money. So like that's what reinsurance is for. It's usually going to cover 75% of it, and then the insurance company is only responsible for 25%. Yeah. But yeah, the main point is that cost of insurance goes up as you see claims across the country. So the wildfires, being very extensive and causing lots of losses for these insurance companies means that these insurance companies now have higher cost to purchase reinsurance, which they then pass on to their clients. So now just basically the overall cost of insurance goes up because of that.
Gotcha.
This morning I logged on to TikTok and I saw Ricky Rocket, drummer of the hair metal band Poison, was being evacuated out with his family.
Oh, shit.
My heart
really?
goes
Did you see
out
that-
to him.
Did you see
that's
that guy
crazy over
that
there.
went back to get his Porsche that was going viral?
Yeah, I saw that.
Back in the middle of the fire. He's like, I'm getting my Porsche. I don't care.
It should
yeah,
be covered
yeah,
under
yeah.
insurance.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. You would
Because
think,
I'm a hurricane guy,
Look,
right? And
Yeah.
hurricane people stay.
Oh, we always stay.
I would be confused. They'd be like, "Sir, you can't say this isn't a hurricane." I'd be like, "It's close enough. It's similar. It's both. They're both catastrophes, so they're both in that bucket."
Yeah.
Sir, it'll burn you alive. I don't know.
Something
I don't
about
know.
fire scares me a little more than water.
Oh, way
Yeah,
worse.
like,
But being swept away scares me too. You know what would be
I'd
the
rather burn to
worst?
death, though.
What would be the
Or, I mean,
worst
not
is
burn.
if your house burned down and you were burned and then swept out to sea.
Oh, wow.
That would be the,
That's a double whammy.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. I hope not. But
So the best course of action is just to call Blanchard Insurance, BlanchardInsurance.com.
Yep.
Speak to Joe or Andrew.
Yep.
They're the B-boys. Jamie Hoover. Anybody at Blanchard will help you out. Tell them you're a Tom and Dan listener.
please, that's the
And
number
just-
one thing is say like, hey, I listen
Yeah.
to you guys when you're goofing around and acting stupid with the B-boys. I don't want to be stupid now. I want to get real insurance help.
So, all it could
Definitely.
take is seems like a couple hours of your time to get all your insurance policies together and contact Blanchard.
I don't think
and
it
then
was
go-
a couple hours.
It's
Ask
not even a
Crystal.
couple hours.
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
maybe
yeah,
30
pretty
minutes to
quick.
do
I think
it.
Crystal did it in like 30 minutes. You know, like.
well,
It
I'm
depends
saying
depends how organized you
Oh, you're
are.
talking to you or
I'm
me?
Florida Joe time.
Yeah.
First, I don't even know
Yeah.
the name or where the
Me
hell
neither.
anything
Yeah,
is.
and then a good thing about that too, speaking on that, is like if we keep everything on file, so all you have to do is call us like every year.
Well, wait a
if-
minute.
if-
I don't want that.
No.
I want no paper trail.
Well, yeah. I mean, but like what I'm saying is like we have all that information at our, so if you ever need that information and you're looking around for new rates, like we have all that stuff, so we can just send it to you. We have a really good service team, so we keep everything pretty neat on our files and stuff. So if you ever
So
need any
basically
of that
the
stuff,
opposite
yeah.
of us. Is what
Yeah. So
I'm
if you
thinking.
don't know where your stuff is, we can find it for you
And-
if you're our client.
Boy, you really do cater to Florida Joes. If it's like if you're disorganized, we
Hey, we
got
know our
yeah,
market.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
People
Yeah,
call
you
us all the time asking for their information.
Oh,
what
I know
have,
they
yeah.
do because they always call us and say, "Hey, Tom and Dan, I'm just like you." All right,
it
sorry,
helps.
Blanchard, we're sending them your way.
well,
Part of the service.
We love our Tom and Dan listeners. Send them all.
Well, they love you, man. Like you've saved our guys a ton of money. I hope you know how much we appreciate that, especially in this day and age where I know everybody pinches and tries
Right.
to save.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to make and this is the last thing I would leave people with. Just because you're saving money, you don't want to do it and then put yourself in a worse predicament. I'll never forget one time as a younger man, and you guys will know this, on car insurance, I started whittling that thing down on my own to get it to an area where I could maybe afford more things I wanted, like
Yeah,
video games and stuff I shouldn't buy.
and then it didn't cover anything.
It was literally very dangerous, or reckless rather, and to me and other people to be driving with the coverage I had. So talk to Blanchard, talk to the B-Boys, and save yourself some money and get the insurance that you need.
Yeah, most people don't even know like what's on their policy anyways. You'd be surprised the amount of people that I talk to that don't realize that, oh, well, my vehicle's not covered under this? What do you mean? Progressive told me it was. And
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's important to talk to someone that at least can tell you what you're signing up for. At the end of the day, too, I mean, we're not trying to make a sale on these people. Like, we're trying to help people out. So if I'm able to help someone by advising them to, stay with their current company, but hey, you need to increase these limits, then that's still a win in our books.
Last question: have you ever met the Geico Gecko?
No, but we have Geico now.
Do they give you? Do they send you a little? Do they send you a miniature version of him? Or
no,
something?
we just have a lady in our office that says she likes to slap that little lizard around.
Okay. Do you guys get any? Do they send you any of? I like
This
that.
is all
He's
nonsense.
He's playing along. What about
Let's
Flo?
get outta here.
Where are you guys at with Flo
No,
right
right.
now?
We love
Where-
Flo's cool.
Yeah, we
Flo's
love
cool.
And what about the little blonde guy that seems to be inching in on her territory?
I don't know
Oh
anything
yeah, we
about
gotta talk
that.
about pickleball too.
Yeah, we gotta talk about pickleball.
Yeah.
I'd watch
We'll get to
Flo
that.
and the blonde guy. I'd watch.
Well, we can't play you in pickleball because Daniel's hips are rotten.
Yeah, I need to get my hips replaced.
And I can't just carry the team by
Yeah,
myself.
talk about insurance. I'm
You
over
can get
here.
you can get a sub in. Just get one of your listeners.
Okay. All right, I'll definitely do it.
You want to
just
race?
get your two best listeners and we'll play.
I'm gonna get EJ as my sub. He's my champion.
No, he's
You and EJ,
too
pickleball.
slow. All right.
Yeah, pick your champions. B-boys against Tom and Dan. Let's
I
go.
love
We're going to play for insurance?
Winner gets unlimited insurance.
I
for
want
pig
my
slip.
boat insurance free and some other stuff. I will talk
Yeah.
later.
If we win this, this
We'll save you
studio's
money on your
ours.
insurance.
You want to buy? Okay,
Yeah.
it's not even ours. So I like that idea.
I want free coffee from your boss.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I want a lot of
demands.
things.
Shout
All
out,
right.
Mike.
Hey,
Yeah.
we can make that happen.
So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to a corporate time.
So,
Are we supposed to say that anymore?
yeah.
Okay.
We can. I mean, it's a reset that it's an audio
Yeah. Sorry.
comfort routine that
There
helps
is comfort
us,
in routine. Yes.
helps us go back, which it's a very small waste of our listeners' time that I think they've even gotten used to, which if we just came back dry, maybe
Yeah.
a distraction. I don't know. We could get rid of it because they know they're listening to this show.
Yeah. Sorry, I even brought it up.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm bad. I'm bad.
No,
I should've
I've
just
thought about it. I
powered
mean,
through.
I've thought about it, and like we should just eliminate that. Why welcome back? But it's like a cue.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the snap of the.
You don't know what that thing's called, do you?
What is that thing called? Directors checkerboard
Placard?
placard.
Is it what is that thing called?
Directors.
It's funny. I was gonna make fun of you for not knowing what it's called, and I don't think I know what it's called, so I can't make fun of you.
The
So
black
make fun
and
of myself now.
They've been using the same one for years.
I don't even think they use it. The chat room, Jackal in the chat room's calling it a clapper, but I don't think that's right.
A director's clapper.
I don't think it's called a clapper. Clapper is the thing the old lady claps that turns your lights on.
Also,
My dad called your butt or maybe your vagina a clapper, I think, at one point.
I don't know.
No, that's a snapper. Sorry. Back to you, Tom.
I don't know why this popped in my head.
Clapboard. Clapboard.
And this is a total pivot, and then we'll get back to
Yeah.
buying
I think I
weights
am
and-
getting sick because my brain is rotten. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm spiraling out of control.
So my sons have been watching this YouTube influencer. I don't even know his name, but
Is his name Russell Brand?
no, he's
I'd love it if they were like.
he's super
What
popular.
we're doing here is we're understanding the world.
He does a really good job producing really just like kind of comedy content. It's kind of I would prefer Mark Rober because I've really grown to like that dude and like his educational and engineering and science.
He also seems
leaning.
a bit harmless and like not
yeah.
vulgar. He's like, I like him.
And
He's
they're
encouraging.
learning stuff.
Yeah.
And instead of the Mr. Beast and Unspeakable and this guy's model where they just they kind of do comedy as they do ridiculous.
I don't like the handles. That's why I like Mark Rober. Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
Okay, this is so stupid, but
Oh, their names.
immediately I can go with a Mark Rober over a Mr. Beast or Unspeakable because I don't like calling a grown-ass man Mr. Beast or Unspeakable. Can't do it.
And this dude just goes around. He creates challenges for himself out of nowhere, and just go like he'll see.
I do that with life.
He'll just be like, I'm gonna try to fly around the world in 24 hours or whatever, and then he'll just book and then he'll fly. Or he's like, I'm gonna rent a private plane, or I'm gonna go eat the world's most expensive
These
pizzas.
are rich people things, though. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's
you know,
it's
if
but
you were poor, you could, not do any of this.
But he's rich only because of social media.
Right.
So he's not like coming from money because he's like one of his videos he's talking about eating the world's most expensive pizza and he's like he doesn't eat vegetables. Like he's essentially like a 24-year-old guy that is, young, and so he's like, and then he'll take like his young friends and they'll fly around anyway. Yeah. But he does a good job. Anyway, it seems to be a thing where he holds his lapel mic, and it's tiny, skinny with a ball, and then he uses that as his mic.
Yes.
And that has become a thing with influencers where they use their like tiny.
It is part of the charm. Yes.
But what is that? I want to hold a tiny mic in my hand instead of just pin it to my shirt. It's distracting to me, and me and Chris are like, why is he holding the tiny mic?
Because the amount of the percentage of attention that the fit and finish gets in that world is different now. You're looking at his fit and finish of his channel with legacy media eyes. Yeah. So you're looking at it with the eyes of dress nice, hold your mic the correct way, wear it on your lapel, make it so we can't even see the mic because you want to have that illusion that you're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Make it
that's old man media.
It's legacy media.
And then he's just like, I'll hold it in my hand, and then might as well not have two.
I also think it's deliberate because it's disruptive. And I think there's a subtleness to it. Like a lot of people think, oh, he's just doing that. I don't believe that. I believe everything is calculated. He knows that by doing it.
He started that way amateur, and now that he's a millionaire, he just still does it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That is what I think.
I don't,
but I hate it too. No, let's talk about it.
I'm just looking at it.
I
like,
hate it too because it doesn't work for us, right? So because I feel like we were trained in legacy media, if we started because there are guys, this microphone, there are guys that do this. I'm going to do it right now to see if I can do it. There are guys that I watch that do this. I'm going to undo this microphone. This is an SM7B. So $500 microphone. This is what people do I see on TV. See if I can do this.
Oh, they're holding the SM7B.
Well, I can't do it because I've engineered this obviously too well in here. But they'll hold the back of it. They'll tear off the stand. They'll unscrew these. So it's literally it's like they're holding a robot's D.
Yeah.
And they'll hold it like this, and they'll be like, hi, welcome back to my channel. And I'm like, no.
Because it's meant to be mounted.
What are you doing? You can't do that. It's the same microphone Michael Jackson did the vocals for Thriller, and you're going to hold the back end of his SM7B? You can't do that.
I like a big, thick, Mega Boy news mic that has a big, thick square on the bottom for no reason.
Big mic flag.
Yeah. Like giant mic flag. It looks like a dumbbell.
Yeah, like that too. Speaking of dumbbells,
it's a foot tall.
Aren't you putting it? How's your home gym coming?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Where are we at with sauna? Because now you got me looking at saunas. I just need a one-person one for me. Andrea's not interested. She thinks it's cockamamie.
Yeah. I can't justify the cost because I know I'll stop using it, and
I don't think you will. Now, I can't vouch for Crystal because I'm more like her. And if I go that route, I would say I would stop using it.
The problem being, if I have to spend upwards of an hour a week in it, I'm going to tell myself, like, how much really is this benefiting me? Or I could use that hour a week for other benefits.
Are you going to do the gym, though, at least? At the very least, you're going to collect some weights, right?
Well,
do you have a bench?
I've been following these TikTok.
You follow Wes Watson, right? And you're taking his challenge. You're part of his
who's that
team.
guy?
He's an influencer, and he'll make you tough.
And
make it like a tough alpha or sigma.
And I do believe this. Like, you don't need necessarily a giant gym to work out. Like,
I just use bands. I just use a rubber exercise bands. And look at my gains.
I mean, honestly, you could do push-ups, pull-ups, and squats, and then just jog, and you'll probably be fine.
I can't do squats. Squats I can't do right now, but...
But anyway, I've been working out with dumbbells at like the gym that you give me your card for.
Yeah.
And then I realized I was like, "Well,
I get credit for all of those on my doctor report because it's all hooked in through the health. So every time you work out, it notifies.
Oh, you get cheaper insurance?
Yeah. It notifies my. That'd be pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
I'm strong as hell when you work out for me.
So I was like, I need to get some just 30-pound dumbbells for at home, and I could do a lot of these workouts at home if I don't have time to go to the gym. I just knock
and
it
you
out
can do
home.
them nude.
And so I was like, I'll just get them on Facebook Marketplace, right? Because I don't need new. Like I did, like I was at.
Well,
the
you
mall.
don't want the ones that smell like rust, right?
No, I don't mind.
You don't
it.
care?
Yeah.
It
Anything-
never comes off your hands.
As long as it weighs.
Then you got to wash your hands with that metal bar. And have you seen that thing?
No.
Have you seen the thing when your hands smell like metal? They make a metal bar of soap, and you pick up the metal bar of soap, and you wash your hands with the metal bar of soap, and it takes the smell of the metal off your hands and puts it on the metal bar of soap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's some sort of like metal science.
I've never had like after a shower is never like still metal. Also, like
You don't care.
like I'm not
you don't
affected
even
by
notice
smells.
it. I don't even think you notice it.
Yeah.
Like my daughter will wear like hair perfume because she's all into like smelling nice and looking nice, and I'll be like, God damn, like it'll set off my allergies.
Yeah.
I'll be like, get the hell out of here. I can't even smell nothing. Smells like a French whore in here. I don't say that part. I don't say that part. My dad used to say that.
So what I assumed is I was going to go on Facebook Marketplace, and then there'd be lots of just random people that have like exercise equipment that they're just selling.
Because
right?
I've seen the people out. I've seen the people out there.
Because you buy exercise equipment.
You bought it during the pandemic, and now you got to sell it for your drugs.
Yeah, you use it for 2 months. It becomes a clothes hamper, and then you sell it because your wife bitches at you. I know the game. So then I thought there would just be random people selling dumbbells here and there. So I go
And
on
you're
there.
interested in some 30s, right?
Yeah, that's what I work out there. So I go on there, and a vast majority of people selling like dumbbells and workout equipment, it seems to be that they do this as like either a part-time job or a side hustle where they buy and sell used workout equipment. Because
So you feel like you found a person that like was in the game and had done this a lot?
a lot of posts on Facebook Marketplace, they list, and then there's some weird ones like kettlebells. They're like, I have and they'll list like a menu of how many they have.
Yeah.
And then they'll show pictures of them in boxes and like brand new, and there's like a bunch of them. And then it's like, this person's like
buying and selling
buying
kettlebells.
and selling kettlebells, or like dumbbells. There'll be huge menus of them, and so
Is it real?
Yeah. Okay. So then one of these guys had a huge menu of
It's like
dumbbells,
going to a Lady of the Night and you get a menu.
and they standardized the price resale where they're all like $1.15 a pound or 89 cents a pound. It's never just
All
like,
right.
hey, these two dumbbells are
So you're
X
what?
amount.
You're in about $34,
No, well, two of them like
$75,
$50 is what
230s for $50.
$230s for
Oh,
$50.
that's
That
not
was
bad
the
at
cheapest
all.
one I could
That's
find.
Pretty good.
So then
That's pretty good.
I contact the guy. I'm like, I want this or whatever. And then the response isn't like a dad just selling some workout equipment. It's kind of like a business. Like, okay, here
Thanks
we go.
so much for reaching out. I got your weights here. Are you coming to pick them up?
And so I literally bought them this week. I left here.
Yeah.
I go over to Waterford Lakes.
I knew that's what you were doing. I could see you had a direction that as you were leaving. I knew you were going to buy weights.
And so I go to the guy's house.
Yeah.
Because
Is that a nice house or a dump?
it's just a regular Waterford Lakes house.
Anything that would clue you into him being a workout guru, or did he answer the door in a wheelchair, or
No, it's just this guy.
it's just a business for him?
he buys and sells used workout
But there
equipment.
weren't like you didn't pull up and then
No.
like in his driveway there's like an old Nautilus equipment and then like
No.
a pull-up bar.
So I
you
pull-
know how sometimes you go to a junkyard and it's like a race car guy and you pull in and there's just like race car bodies everywhere.
So I pull into the guy's driveway, and then he has the two dumbbells set up on an egg crate with like a towel.
yeah, in
and
case you
then
want to lift them.
presented
I think that's more like 29 pounds. I don't know.
like it was presented
Sounds like a drug deal.
on an egg crate in his driveway on a towel. Like
What is he wearing when you meet him? Are you wearing workout clothing? This workout clothing I see you wear here. You're very scared. Did the listeners know you're scantily clad here?
He was dressed in a full like
Chic
sweatsuit. It was speaking of that. He looked like Modest Yahoo from like the
Whoa.
Jewish.
So he looked like a white Jewish reggae man.
Yeah. Which I had nothing to do with nothing, but it
That's
didn't.
my Modest Yahoo.
It didn't look like he was a workout. It just looked
Yeah.
like. And then I was like,
Was there any reggae playing?
No, and then he was like,
What happened to Modest Yahoo?
he's like, if you need any other dumbbells, you got the menu, and I get more next month. And I'm like, okay. Then I
All
leave,
right.
and I'm like, what is this? Like, and then
It's the dumbbell king.
there's other people on Facebook Marketplace doing the same thing with exercise equipment, where they buy and sell, and they have menus
So
of
he has
stuff in his
competitors.
purse. Yeah, it's
Can you play
weird.
them against each other? Can you say, like, this guy offers it for $45?
I guess.
Are they
if,
nice dumbbells? Describe the dumbbells.
Just so you usually got a little rust on them.
Metal grip. Oh,
Yeah,
used? They're
yeah.
used.
Yeah, all
So
used.
where is he getting them?
I have no idea. That's
Old
what I'm saying.
gyms that are going out of business.
I don't
Gotta
know.
be.
I have no idea. It was a weird thing because I started looking like a couple weeks ago for this, and I was like, this is odd. I expected just random people's dumbbells for sale and not like multiple people selling a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then continue like this is their side
It's
hustle
like a
business.
network or something.
I don't know where they get them from, or if they get them from some sort of wholesale used gym equipment and then they resell it, like making small margins. I don't know. But and then they all are kind of priced similar, like where it's like $1 a pound.
Yeah.
It's like
So it's like that's the rate.
Is the industry standard. Like
That's it. That is really weird.
Yeah. It's a random
'Cause,
Facebook
like,
marketplace.
Back in the
things.
day, the only places you could get weights, like when I was a kid, the only like viable place was Sears.
Yeah, or a sporting goods store.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But sporting goods stores weren't even like the norm. Like your Dick's or your like Play It Again or Sports Authority.
Yeah.
I don't remember having one of those. So if we wanted weights, and I had a weight bench when I was like younger, and my dad used it, he got it from Sears. You'd go to Sears and to the right of like where the lawn equipment was, there'd be like it was just like the men's department. It was like cut the grass and pump iron, you
Yeah.
weaklings, you know.
Yeah,
Tools and lawn and lifting weights. So I'd walk through there, and then I remember one birthday, might have been like 16, 17, something, I don't know. My dad said, like, I want to do this too, so pick out a weight bench. And we picked it out, and he didn't want the sand ones. That's the one thing I do remember is my dad said the sand ones were cheap. That's amateur hour. If you get the weights with the little plug and the sand, you don't
fill
want
the
that. You
sand.
drop them, they'll crack. He wanted the metal plates. And then you had to have the little pinchy thing on the ends to keep the weights from falling off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had all of that.
Workout equipment has to be could you think of anything else that is bought and never used as much as workout equipment? It's got to be on the top.
VR headsets. I think a lot of people, myself and you
God.
included, have purchased VR headsets. We used it for the heyday, but then we realized that it's not practical to put on a set of like goggles and log in. It's just not practical.
My sons still ask all the time for the VR back. Like they were full on addicted to virtual reality.
You want mine? I'll give you mine.
No, I do. We
Mine has tons of porno on it, though.
I
mean, just so much.
Well, I have the one from the studio one.
Do you want the porno?
No. It's we stopped them from using it because we saw first, we saw online it suggested like you should be like 13 because like being on VR too much at a young age may have like weird brain
Makes you have
effects.
small teeth.
Yeah, and second, I'm like I didn't feel comfortable with them like really wanting to be in the VR.
It's a weird portal to weird people.
Yeah, not even the weird people. It just I didn't want their brains to like learn to be addicted.
Okay with that,
Or
yeah.
not even okay with it, just to like always be wanting to be in the virtual world and not wanting to be in the real world. Right?
I don't blame you.
That's especially when you're young. When you're an adult, who cares? But your literally brain is forming the neural pathways when you're young, and that will stay with you, right? I think. I don't know.
I mean, nobody knows. I mean, like,
Yeah,
but I can
it doesn't look
imagine.
good.
I can imagine. Just do with what you got out here. You don't need to go in there. In that world.
Yeah,
They can barely, like, my kid can barely handle what's here. You don't need to go into something else. Other people are giving ideas of stuff that they have that they didn't use. We have specialty kitchen appliances. We have a lot of those, like sous vide.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
my
yeah.
immersion circulator. I mean, like I used it hard for 6 months.
I got one.
Rollerblades, waffle maker juicer. People are saying.
I bet you there's a lot of females out there that bought a sewing machine that never gets used.
Yeah, you have one of those. You
Crystal,
bet you
yeah.
about a lot. Still in the box, right?
It's still brand new, and Crystal put it underneath our office storage or whatever. And but I'll see it in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'll laugh. I'll like, oh, there it is.
You should write something on it every time you see it. You should write something like the date.
Yeah,
When you see it or something. Yeah, Maisie got a sewing machine for Christmas. You know what she's been using it for, which is kind of creative? She's been taking Dansby's toys. He likes these things called rip and reveals, where basically the dog company takes a hard ball and then they just wrap it in cloth a bunch of times so then the dog can tear the cloth off and get to the ball.
Yeah.
So May will like take that cloth again and rewrap it on the ball and then sew it back. She'll like lay it flat and sew it and then give it back to Dansby so he can rip it up again.
She's saving you money on the non-reusable
she's making dog toys.
dog ball.
Yeah. It's not funny. It's not fun to talk about that, right? She's like, look, I can recycle this. And I'll make Dansby some toys or my sewing machine.
God.
I'm like, get at it.
I wish my sons would. I can't even get them to clean up their plates out of the playroom. Anyway. The lots of it gets to the point.
My Peloton is doing that right now. I mean, it wouldn't be, but it's doing it right now because I can't ride. My my right hip will click, 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 and it just hurts.
Oh, lots of. I mean, the treadmill.
Yeah, number one
is got to be the number one thing that is bought in.
But
every
I don't think it's the fault of people with the treadmill because, like, you say it. Other people I know that enjoy running say it. I don't think running on a treadmill is fun.
It isn't.
Most people I know that run, like, that enjoy it or see the benefit of it, let's say. I don't know if anybody enjoys it, but I say see the benefit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They say treadmills suck, but if I'm just running around outside, that's great.
Yes. Now,
what would make it better then?
Some people like the treadmill, like because they can watch like Netflix or watch whatever while they're on it, and so you can't watch anything when you're running outside. But that's not a motivator for me enough to buy a treadmill because I would just prefer to run around my neighborhood, even if it's the same loops. Yeah. It's just I'm outside. Yeah. It's like a different experience.
It's also slightly different every time.
Yeah, the temperature is different each time.
No matter what, it's different.
And sometimes you see things like you see people every once in a while. You'll look around in your neighborhood. Like I enjoy being outside more than just being on a treadmill watching Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
But some people they catch up on their shows and then walk on a treadmill or whatever. And they, they'll be like, well, if I'm going to watch a show, I'll be on my treadmill.
Yeah. I did that a little bit on the Peloton, and I enjoyed it, but it's nothing as good as, like, your headphones and on a real bike. Just, like, going down a trail and just, like, enjoying the sunshine or, listening to something or the wind. That's the number one thing I miss. I like the wind. Like, I like the breeze, being outside. I like the smells. I like being able to breathe out there,
It does get repetitive, though, and that's the thing is like how to do the same thing over and over and then not dread it.
Yeah.
Because, like, even this Friday, which I can't because the stump grinding crew just told me they're coming on Friday after the show.
Are you going to tip them? That was a question on the BDM group. Let's finish with that.
Yeah.
Let's jump up.
I will. I did think about that. I was going to get 2 20s because I imagine it's going to be a 2-man crew.
Well, I mean, people on the chat room, I think it was Richard, our friend Richard, who loves Manchester United, the UPS, the good UPS man. I believe he was like, where are we at with tipping crews that do things at your house? Do you tip them out? Now, his was a little bit more specific in that he had gotten a quote or like he had settled up a bill with somebody doing something at his house, and they sent him like an email invoice, and then on the invoice it had an area for tip. And he'd never seen that before.
It's probably because the customers requested it because no one has cash anymore and they need like a digital way to tip. But I think you have to tip your crew, especially now if it's a person that you're paying directly. I don't think you need to tip them because they quoted you and you paid them directly. And, like, maybe if they do a super good job, you tip them or went above and beyond.
Yeah.
But if it's a crew that's working for a company, I think that those guys you tip because they're doing the job and getting paid standard, and you're paying the company. I think that makes
Yeah.
more sense. If they do a good job, you don't tip them. If they do a horrible job or it's like just half-ass, you're like, whatever. If it seem like they're working for a tip or something.
Now, a few people, I think Patrick in our BDM group was saying that he will like pull out a cooler, pull out a bunch of chairs in a shaded area, fill the cooler full of sodas and beer, and then give each person on the crew like $20. I'm like, damn, that's pretty good.
I was told a long time ago, don't give them beer because they'll be drunk.
Yeah. You might end up regretting
I was gonna
that.
buy this landscaping crew some beer, and the owner's like, no. He's like,
never do that.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, Gatorade
Yeah.
only. Anyway,
It's like feeding a gremlin after midnight, Oh, my God, they're multiplying. What are we doing?
All right, we will be right back. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Real quick before we start, we'll be at Science on Tap on Saturday,
Yes, sir.
January 25th. It's the Orlando Science Center Beer Fest. We're there every year. Me and Daniel have been going for the past couple of years. It's always a really, really nicely
It's a
put together
beautiful beer fest.
beer
yeah.
fest.
The best
high-end.
signage, some of the best beers you will ever have, and the best part is all the money goes to help out our Science Center. If you're a member, you can save some money, but you should be a member anyway, and you can find more details at osc.org.
And if you see me and Daniel out there, come say what's up.
Yeah,
We're
well, say
hanging
hi
out.
to Tom. I would prefer if you keep a distance from me. I like a little distance.
So on Zoom with us right now, you can find him at The Real Vince Taylor on Instagram. You can listen to his podcast, The New Blurred Order.
Yeah.
Comedian Vince Taylor. How you doing, Vince?
I'm good, man. Are we bringing sound effects into
Yeah.
2025?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm loving it.
2025
I'm loving
sirens. The sirens are back. Wait till I get my fart machine.
it. Okay, pull up soundboard. It's good to see y'all, man.
So, Vince, I wanted to tell you, in fact, I was thinking about this when I was there. I went back to our old stomping grounds, the Florida Mall.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Florida Mall?
yeah. And have you seen how much that place has changed? Like, I haven't been there, and it may have been over a decade.
You don't do malls.
It hadn't, obviously I've been there after I worked there, but it's been so long where I walked in, I was like, what the? They redid everything. Although I went and they put Champ Sports next to Foot Locker, and now it's a mega.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think about that? Them mixing, canoodling, if you will.
Well-
even though we know it is the same parent company, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, for me, I don't know if you're asking Tommy or me, but for me, I remember specifically when I got hired at Champs, my manager was like, I don't want nobody to know nothing about no Foot Locker, no Finish Line, even though Champs is owned by Foot Locker. So it's kind of weird. Even though they're the same company, we were in competition a little bit, like who could sell the most socks and the most shoe cleaners and stuff. I know Tommy didn't have to do this because he's in the back, doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah, we know what he's doing.
Third floor. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
multiple
He don't gotta do the
investigations about.
No, I'm putting
Yeah.
up the shoes.
Yeah.
By the way,
Sure you were. Louis C.K. over here.
By the way, I went back to the old Champs location, and it's still there. There's two Champs now.
Yeah.
And then
There can't be two champs.
and they redid it all. Then I was going to show my sons. I was going to go in there and ask if I can
You
go
gonna
into
show
the...
them where you masturbated? Hey,
No,
boys,
no,
come
no.
in.
No,
Boys, come in here. This is where
No.
you would have been conceived.
no, I was going to go and ask if I can go into the back room and show...
Who does that? And you call me weird? You're going to go into your old champs and ask to go in the back room?
Well, I was gonna-
And I'm the lunatic on the show?
I needed to show my sons what their old man used to do.
Yeah.
Hey, sons, you see those stains up there? Right there?
Yeah.
No, I was
See
gonna-
that ladder?
No,
I used to climb that and then kick it down so I didn't have to do any more work the rest of the day.
No, I was going to show them that I used to do manual labor, that I used to actually do real,
Instead of talking
so
like
you-
your wife says.
yeah.
Talking with your little friend.
Yeah.
Dan, what you don't understand is that Tom, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Tom was the only one on our staff who was allowed to dress in regular clothes.
I've heard this
Everybody
before.
else had these blue blues on that said Champs on the back, and we had to wear these really tight, before tight clothes was in, these real tight pants, and then we got to pick our shoes. Well, we had to buy them though. Oh, with a 10% discount, thank you. But they had to be champ shoes. But Tommy would walk in with a trucker hat, a t-shirt, jeans, and some flip-flops. And we'd be like, does this dude work here? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he here to pick somebody up? Like,
Confident.
what's going on? So
he was confident. He was like he would have on that green turtle hoodie, and he'd walk in with confidence, and no one would say anything. You even mentioned that to me, I believe.
I don't know why that is. It's a way, like everywhere.
Clipboard confidence.
you
You
don't
walk
know
in with a
why.
clipboard.
Everywhere I've worked, you know the guy in Office Space where he got hypnotized and then he just started telling the bosses the truth, and they're like, "I like the cut of this guy's jib." Like, that has actually happened to me in real life multiple times at work, and I have no idea why.
You're like, this is BS, and they're like, you know what? This guy's got it.
All right.
I'm gonna blow some smoke up Tom's
Okay.
backside, but I don't want him to take it personally. But Tommy was a hot little cookie back then. He had the long, slick hair back, you know what I'm saying? One of them, very grown Hanson, like Hanson Senior, ooh bop type. And
He
nobody
was my
called him
little
Tom.
bop.
They all called him Drunky. So he was weaponizing his celebrity is what was happening. Like, folks was up there like, you can't make Drunky the Bear actually come out here and sell socks.
Yeah. You know my day job, right? I'm on the Monsters of the Mid-Morning.
How
Exactly. That's literally like, and he'd be like, we got a bit today. We got a bit. Me and Dr. Nervecock or whatever his name is. Whatever.
I got to meet Kathy Lee Gifford. No big deal.
That celebrity so well, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a hater.
He's like, this morning I met John Lovitz. No big deal. No big deal.
How sad was it? I'm on a morning show that at the time they're usually popular, and I have to go to work. Stock boy at night. Like, and then maybe when they're like, this guy's on the radio. He's putting our shoes away. He's got the worst job of this place. Let's be honest.
You were like it's like a modern day Cinderella story, right? Isn't it? Like,
yeah, if Cinderella was a celebrity on the radio, right? Like, he's dressing down. Dan, he does not have to wear the uniform.
Yeah.
Do you know how big of a deal that is?
Oh, I do.
Those clothes didn't fit us, bro.
Yeah.
And he comes in with this Ed Hardy shirt or whatever it is.
oh, he was big into Ed Hardy.
How dare you, Vince? I didn't wear Ed Hardy
and your True Religion jeans.
No, I didn't wear the cracker-ass cracker Ed Hardy BS.
He'd come in with a 18 belt loop Z Cavaricis.
But yeah, like I was like, this dude clearly is getting away with something, and I couldn't really tell. I'm gonna go ahead and put a name out there. Our manager,
Forrest Stump.
I'm not gonna put the name out there.
Forrest Stump.
Look.
There was a guy named Forrest Stump that you worked with that I will forever laugh at. That his name was Forrest
But
Stump.
I think she had ulterior motives with our boy Tom.
That fat lady wanted to ride it. That fat lady wanted to ride it and grain it on that wood.
I would have let her ride it.
You should have let her grain it on that wood.
I was up there the whole time.
Oh,
She
my
could have
God.
imagine if she would have walked up there.
Oh, she would have cowboy cartered you.
In the castle. That's what I was. Actually, it wasn't what I was thinking about. But no.
Would you have slept with your manager in the shoe castle? Yes
of
or
course
no?
I would.
Okay.
That's how.
She requested you for activities outside.
Is this the lady you moved?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this lady wanted to ride it. This lady wanted to
Well, obviously not that much. She gave me a $5 footlong.
For what? You did what?
For driving
You
it
just
down.
killed Vince. He's dead. He's dead.
Driving all the way down to
What
West.
did you do to Vince Taylor? Where's my friend? Okay,
Could
there
you
he is. Okay.
imagine loading in some lady's apartment? Huh?
Oh man, what'd you say? I missed it. I was dying from your stupidity. What'd you say?
No. I loaded some lady's apartment out of her house into a moving truck, drove down to West Palm Beach, unloaded it.
She wanted to ride you, dude.
She paid for her Subway as payment.
Yeah, but
how crazy is that?
And what were you wearing when you're moving all this stuff, Tom?
Hoodie, trucker hat, Ed Hardy.
See-through hoodie, a mesh hoodie.
Yeah.
Bro, there was nobody else on that staff who got more special treatment. Like literally, you may as well have been the only biological son, and we were all adopted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've
we had
seen
to
those
kinda work
movies.
out-
I've seen those movies where the stepmom
Foster
tells you to
system.
come in.
You know what's funny is that I would have had, if someone had told me, like, do you think these people think that? I would be like, like, what? No, of course not. Like,
well,
this
you
is
don't.
insane.
You're oblivious to things happening.
Yeah. I
That's
honestly,
how privilege works.
besides Vince, because I work with Vince, I didn't even know anybody else's name. Like, I didn't even, like half the time, like I'd see people and they know my name. I was like, how does this guy? Like, I worked there for years. I have no idea who the hell the manager. Like above them, I didn't know anything. Didn't care.
It stopped right there.
Anyways,
The DM accused me of stealing Jordans, and I didn't even wear Jordans back then. But here's my question for you, Tommy. Did you go in and kind of give them the low key inspection? Like, okay, let me see if somebody comes out and addresses me and says hello and tells me the deals for the day. Because that was what my job was. I had to immediately, oh, hello, sir. Thanks for coming to the Champs. Can I help you with anything? No. Okay. Well, just so you know, we got two for one buy one get one off on the shirts and two for free for the socks.
Yeah. You got to give the
So
spiel.
if I go to the Champs and somebody doesn't do that, I'm like, who's the manager?
Right.
yeah, you're supposed to sell the shoe cleaner. I remember they tried like some new person manager tried to be like, oh, you have to sell the shoe cleaner and then the socks and
You didn't do it because you can't talk. Like this guy. He's like,
Back then, Tim's was a big deal, so the erasers for the Tims and all that. Yeah.
And I remember like I was telling him like I'm not doing that. I'm gonna say I'm gonna
come on the floor. He had like a secret key. He came in through the floor at the back in the back. Like he didn't even come in through the front door like everybody else. He had like a secret entrance, like somewhere in the back where it was stocking the shoes. We never saw Tommy on the floor.
were you smoking then? Would you go out for smoke?
Oh, smoke all the time. Vince knew. I'd be every time. Every time
Did he
I took.
stink? Did he smell like cigarette?
There was a hint of tobacco, but I didn't hang around Tommy.
So
too
you
much.
were
I thought he was
smoking and
too
you would
good.
eat a foot-long cheesesteak every day?
Yeah. Every time I take the cardboard boxes out to the trash compactor, I'd be smoking crazy.
Yeah.
I get 2 cigarettes in there, and then at one time I was like I smoked in the side hallways of the place.
Yeah, the little hallways where the bathrooms are.
Yeah. I smoked one in there.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, when you work at the mall, there's like a secret back hall. You know what I'm saying? For you to get in through
That's
the
where
back.
that
they
lady
load up
wanted
the
to
shoes and
ride
stuff.
it. Oh, my God. You just lay on this linoleum, and I'll take care of you real quick.
There's a question. One last question about the Champs thing. When you used to take lunch break, if you did you bring food or did you hit the food court?
He
And if
went
you
to
hit the food
Charlie's Steaks every day. Why do you think he got a gastritis?
so literally, you didn't never go to the food court? You always thought the Subway?
He's like the
No,
John
no.
Wayne of the Florida Mall. He's got 45 pounds of undigested beef in his belly because he would eat a cheesesteak every day like John Wayne. That's why they used to call him Tom Van American.
No, this is a true story. I go to Charlie's Cheesesteaks every day.
Good as hell.
And
Good
then-
as hell. Shout
and-
out to Charlie's.
And then Sam's brother
Yeah.
would give me a free cheesesteak because he listened to the morning
And he's
monsters.
in jail now.
He'd give me a free cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Actually,
man.
he'd give me the discount. He'd only charge me for the fries or the cheesesteak or something like
That's
that.
a good deal, dude. Yeah.
it'd
Am
be
I
the-
hearing that Sam's brother went to jail for giving you free
No.
steaks?
I don't want to talk about it.
That would be messed
I
up. You
blab
better
too
visit
much.
that man.
I blab too much.
So, all right,
Yeah.
let's get to it, Vince, because we got a lot to talk about. And before we get to the nerd stuff, I got to ask you about, and I know people they don't want to hear that much football talk, but so we'll make it quick. You put up a video on your Instagram talking about AJ Brown reading the book during the last playoff game. And he was that was during the last playoff game, correct? Against
Not the last one, the one before last.
the one
Not
before
this-
last, yes. And of course he got a lot of flack about it, and I'm curious of your opinion.
I mean, I think that, okay, I first want to preface this by saying I think it's phenomenal that he's reading on the sideline. I think it's phenomenal that he's reading. I mean, because we don't often hear that from athletes. But in my opinion, as I stated in my video, I believe this was a flex to make sure that the public was aware that he did read. This wasn't him trying to show, oh, I'm trying to work on myself, because you work on yourself in private for the most part. You don't do things publicly to show, hey, I'm working on myself. This was a showcase of me making sure the world doesn't have this warped image of some dumb football player who has no idea how to read and is just going to go out there and hit somebody and go home and take the check. But no, I'm different. I am a literary genius. I can actually read not books on Kindle, but books that you get out of a library. And I want to hold this up high enough for the cameras and even the drones on the field to see. Because I know I'm going to get attention. And I know people have been questioning me, specifically A.J. Brown, because he had that whole spat with, I don't know if y'all know about that or not, but him and Jalen Hurts had like a little thing.
No.
Because he didn't get the ball one day, and he went out and the press asked him, they was like, well, what do you think the problem is? He's like, passing. And he's like, well, shoot, who else passes the ball? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
There's only one other dude that passes the ball.
Right,
So
right.
it felt like a way to detract from all of the negative attention he was getting for that, even though it was earlier in the season. I will say, however, even though I do think he was trying to showcase that he could read, which, hey, congratulations. It's fundamental, reading rainbow, butterfly in the sky. But I do at least give him credit for using that as an outlet to work on himself. But I do think it was a flex. So I don't give him credit for like bringing it out. But if you're gonna use a publicity stunt, then this is a smart one. I give it credit, but I recognize what it is.
The
And that's what
chat
post
room
was
said,
for.
"What if the author paid him for promotion?" No.
That would make sense, but I don't. This is gonna sound bad. AJ, I don't think he's smart enough for.
Yeah.
Say that. Let me not say smart enough. I don't think that he thought that in advance. That would have been a good idea. Now, having said that, Inner Excellence, great book. I haven't read it, but I heard good things.
Yeah.
But perhaps maybe a different book, maybe one written by a Marvel comic writer, perhaps, maybe next time. Maybe
Right. Well, it's a number one seller now, they're saying, because of this. So obviously, we all know that everybody rushed out to either buy a digital copy or a real copy. It's checked out of every library.
Well, a couple interesting things. Like you do that like a cartoon would show you how he's on break by opening the newspaper.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm reading this.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was boredom.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah,
you're,
that's
you're
what
telling,
I thought it was. And then I think he picked the wrong book. I think Vince is right. He should have picked a comic book. That shows that he's like kind of chilling. That would have been a better I'm bored.
Now the
Well,
other.
I mean,
The other thing I want to talk about too is like when you're being filmed at all times, and even like when you're not actually on TV, there's cameras and other people's phones on you, and it's safe to say that if you're standing on the sidelines of an NFL game as a player or anybody, someone's filming you at all times,
Well,
right?
Tell that to Jelly Roll, who ate his boogers.
Well, he's in a spectator, like an event.
Yeah, but you got to know people are filming you. You're sitting
That's
right
true,
behind
yeah.
Kid Rock and Donald Trump, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. That's. I think he's naive.
Yeah, but
to
like
it,
you're right,
yeah.
on the sidelines, and they tell that to the cheerleaders in the Dallas Cowboys show.
Of course,
They
yeah.
always say, like, do you understand that there's never a point in that stadium where some set of eyes is not on
Yes,
you.
yes,
That's
yeah.
not a thing.
And nowadays, videotaping you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so it's interesting because I'm sure that if you ask any football player, there are times in a football game that you really have nothing to do, and looking at, a quarterback has to look at like obviously he opens up the tablet and he starts reviewing plays and stuff like that. But for everybody else,
I'll never call it a tablet. It's an iPad forever.
you could do that, but I think most of the players, like, it doesn't really that doesn't translate to helping in any way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I know what I need to do, and really, like,
I assume that of all players and coaches,
And-
like they all know when they've messed up. They all like,
yeah, but some
except
the
for
quarterback.
Atlanta's coach, Raheem Morris never knows when he messes up.
But because everybody's watching you, you have to kind of pretend like either
like
you're
Raheem.
you're rooting on your team or you're doing something football related to that game.
Yeah.
Right,
But
at all
Tommy,
times.
Right.
Where does it stop, though? Where does it stop? Next week, does he bring on a PS Portable? Does he start coming out with dice? Does he start bringing out clubs and dominoes and cards?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, what exactly are you supposed to do with the time that you have on the sideline? I played football in high school. I stood next to the coach. I was ready. Now, I know it's different. These guys get paid, so it's a whole big difference. But, I mean, come on, Brian. I mean, are you really, really reading? Or are you really, really just holding up the book so that people see? Now, he also said he's been reading the book. They just happened to catch him this time. Why did they catch him this time? Because he's holding the book up like
Yeah,
this.
I think
He's
you're
holding
right.
the book up like this. So I don't have a problem with it. In fact, AJ, if you're watching, I wrote my own book. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hit me up, it's about Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you want to put up another book, just hit me up and let me know if, what I'm saying, you need something else to promote, especially somebody maybe been written by a black author that can help us out in the hood a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So hook up, holler at your boy.
I like that.
And real quick,
Send him a copy.
I just got to throw out
I didn't write that book, by the way. That's just a bit.
my prediction for this weekend, and I'm curious your take, Vince, is when I was looking at it and listening to a bunch of content, the Commanders have and I didn't know this, but they have the biggest fourth down conversion percentage of the NFL.
What is it?
It's like 87% of fourth downs they've actually converted to first downs, more than Philly, which is weird because Philly has a tush push and it seemingly works 95% of the time or whatever. But Washington has a higher percentage, and they don't even do that tush push thing. So that just shows me and a lot of it is luck. When you convert a fourth down. And so sometimes you get, you happen to hit 5 heads in a row, but tails are coming. You know what I'm saying? And then it's and so you look at that and you look at the turnovers from last time against Detroit, and I think tails are coming for the Commanders against the Eagles. And I think that even though Jaden Daniels is playing better than any rookie quarterback we've seen,
insane.
I think they're not going to hit the same turnover conversion they did against Detroit, and those fourth downs are bound to get stopped. And then on the opposite side, that Chiefs game, I think Chiefs, they should have lost against Houston, even though the Chiefs are the Chiefs, but and Houston's got a better defense than the Bills, but I love the teasing Eagles down and the Bills up to 7.5. That's my play this week, but I think it's going to be a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl, and that's my prediction.
Bills-Eagles. Okay, so, all right. What I've said about the Commanders-Philadelphia game is that I think that the Eagles will probably win, but it ain't going to be no easy win. They're going to have to, really work, especially looking at how Jalen Hurts was limping off the sideline after this last game.
Yeah, how is he now?
Back into the locker room. I just don't have the same level of confidence. He took a real bad hit and messed up that knee a little bit, and he's a soldier, so he's going to come out and he's still going to play.
Yeah, that video
but frankly,
gross.
if this was regular season, he probably wouldn't be because he needs to recover. And that gives me pause. Now, I know Saquon is on his MVP world tour right now, and he's definitely got the potential to lead the Eagles to a win on his own. But I do believe that the heart of this Eagles offense is Jalen Hurts, and I don't think that they'll be able to do the same thing because what makes the Eagles so dangerous is that you can't just blitz them because Jalen can run, and he doesn't run like Jaden. He runs and he goes to hit the linebackers. He ducks down and he actually leans in. He doesn't slide or go out of bounds. This dude is getting it. So I if there was ever a time that the Eagles could falter and have an excuse for it, I feel like this might be it. They have suffered so much. You know what I'm saying? With regard to Jalen, it's not his first time being hurt. And I just feel like he's on fumes right now. Jaden, however, this dude is just getting started. He's only 21. You know what I'm saying? His dude is he went through the Lions, went through the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's expecting that?
I also like that he he weighs 103 pounds and he wears his beanie on the top of his head like one of the Cosby kids from the late 70s or early 80s, and he is straight dicing and slicing people. He's so fun to watch, but I don't I do worry about him because he's so he is he's little, right?
Yeah.
How tall is Jaden Daniels?
He's tall.
He's 6'2", 185, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the last time I saw his info. And you're right. He's one real hard hit from being sent to the emergency room.
Oh,
I feel like he has gotten away by slicking through these holes this last season. But yeah, there's going to be one dude who's going to, and they'll take the penalty and get the win. You know what I mean? That might be a strategy. Give Jaden the work, because once you slow him down, that Commander's offense can't do nothing else. He is the complete dominant force in that offense. Now,
should we nerd it up? Is
Yeah.
it nerd time?
Let's get to nerd.
All right, let's nerd. Let's nerd.
All right.
What do you want to talk about first, Vince?
Okay, well, I have something for y'all. This is kind of nerd related, but it's also kind of personal. All right. So as of late, we always talk about Marvel and DC and whatnot. DC has pulled a major move, and I don't even remember if we talked about this before or not. Maybe we did, but they're casting Now along with my man, oh shoot, his name is escaping me right now, but I see his face in my head, and that's creepy, but it's happening. The dude who made, oh man, it'll come to me at some point, but they basically are making a Green Lantern project, right? Y'all know Green Lantern, the Lantern Corps. You know, Ryan Reynolds was the first on-screen Green Lantern.
Yep.
It was a terrible movie, but whatever. But what they did, because one of the most popular Green Lanterns is a guy named John Stewart, black guy. The first one was Hal Jordan.
Yep.
Right. Now it's John Stewart. So they hired a dude named Aaron Pierre. Have y'all heard of Aaron Pierre?
Aaron Pierre. The name sounds familiar, but I'm not pulling up a face.
Okay, well, when you do, you won't be able to get this face out of your mind because, no disrespect, and I ain't gay, but he's gorgeous. He is so handsome.
My God, yeah. Holy smokes. Look at that guy. Yeah. He's got blue eyes for the love of Christ.
He's got green eyes. He's ripped. He's British, but he has a Jamaican background. And the reason I'm telling y'all
this guy is he's a panty dropper, this guy. Holy smokes.
Look at Tom looks a little excited over there. Now, here's the question. I know I've talked about this thus far, but here's the disturbing part about this. You know, I love comic books. I love Marvel. I love all of these movies. I wish I looked like that.
Look at that guy.
But it's fascinating when your wife starts to love these movies as much as you, even though she hasn't had any interest in these movies ever before.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all of these handsome gentlemen, Thor, Captain America, are now coming into the picture. And I wanted to know from y'all, has y'all wife ever had a crush that you knew about? Because my wife is coming to me and showing me all this about Aaron Pierre all day, every day. And I'm happy because it's like, oh, this is coming, but we're relating, we're bonding. But I'm also like, hold on.
You get some of that, I think, with your wife. Like, your wife will go see a movie because, like, a hot dude is in it. My wife, I think, has accepted that she is married a disgusting man. Like, I feel like she's
I'll give it up.
And then I feel like in a weird way that it's almost like a weird, what do you call that? Like, it's like, not Munchausen's, but it's like when you fall in love with your kidnapper. I feel like, it's like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, I feel like my wife has now she loves disgusting and she can't have it any other way.
Stockholm disgusting.
Yeah, I think she's, lock, stock, and full disgusto. That's me.
So she looks at Aaron and vomits, right? She's like,
no, it's just like
beauty.
She doesn't.
She's turned asexual.
If she were able to break out of her hypnosis, she would love him. But she never sees it. It's not even a thing. Like, she never even sees that man.
Because the syndrome is blocking it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just such a. I was just gonna say it's just such a weird place to be because I'm ecstatic. My wife will come to me and be like, "Yo, did you hear that Green Lantern's gonna happen?" I'm like, "Yo, tell me more."
Well, you should just
man.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
This is gonna make you feel better that like SJ, other people in the chat room that are not gay, that are just like good old boys, are all agreeing with you and saying like, yes, this guy is straight up a good-looking dude. But at least I would say your wife has good taste, and I would say, after knowing you, like, I'm more comfortable saying this than Tom would ever be. Like, but I think you are a very attractive guy. You know, so I think, I think you're fine. But yes, I think that it is important to get back to casting, I feel like, characters that are like genetically amazing for the role, because it does add to it being more of a, quote, superhero movie when you get people that do look super, right? Like this guy does. He's got green eyes, for Christ's sake. And you're doing Green Lantern? Come on.
And he can dance, and he's got a British accent.
That's cool.
And he works out, and he's got muscles under his shirt.
That's
I don't
cool.
think he has any scars on his whole body. There's 0% body fat. I think he speaks 11 languages. I think he's an engineer / scientist / ex-president. I don't think there's anything he hasn't done. I love that he's being casted, because you know the secret to casting is you want to put somebody in the place that men want to be and women want to be with. And I think that they scored that on this one. I just didn't expect my wife to be one of those.
Yeah, and the Green Lantern thing is interesting because I remember how much heat the original movie took for being terrible. So maybe they're really trying to go all in on this and like do it right, because it kind of sucks because Green Lantern is, I think, as a pseudo nerd, a cool character.
Yeah.
I loved Green Lantern. I hate to bring this up every time you're on the show, but I love the comic book Red Sun. Green Lantern in that is fantastic. You'll have to read it. I don't want to spoil it, but Green Lantern plays a role in that. You'll have to read it.
Yeah.
But
Great.
yeah, Green Lantern's great, and the core is great, and the different sizes and the different lanterns from different planets. That's all cool stuff.
Let me nerd out a little bit for those who are unfamiliar with Green Lantern. So
Please.
Green Lantern, the original Green Lantern is a dude named Hal Jordan, all right? And he basically is a loser. He finds this magical alien ring, and the ring basically lets you make anything that you can envision. You know what I'm saying? So you can just be like, oh, Green Lantern, make a car, and then you can ride a car. So now Green Lantern has a sidekick named John Stewart. This is not a movie. This is a TV show. This will be multiple episodes. And it's kind of going to giving me Lethal Weapon meets DC Universe.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm really interested to see what they do with it.
That's cool.
Yeah, geeked about it. And also happy to be able to sit and share a project with the wife, I suppose. Even if it
Let me ask you this, Vince, and this is maybe the most nerd question I've ever asked.
I like that.
Is I feel like there should be a different category of superhero when the thing that gives you the superpower is not internal but is external, like a ring or a staff or anything.
Well, but correct me, but don't you have to be virtuous in order to even don the ring?
Yes. You can't
So it is
be any
inside
old
you.
body. Yeah, they're selected. I left that part out. I didn't want to get too deep into the weeds, but yeah, the folks who end up with the rings in the Lantern Corps are not folks who just randomly happen upon it. Even though I kind of made it feel that way, they don't just happen. The ring is placed in their path because of the life and the character that they lead, and so that's how they, by Darkest Day and Darkest Night or whatever, end up being. So yeah, you're right. But what Tom is saying basically is like it shouldn't count if you're just Iron Man and your superpower is all dependent on what gadget you put on or what ring you put on or whether or not you put the magic belt on or put the magic suit on. Like there's certain, like Superman is a real superhero. The dude can burn with his eyes and he can
what
lift.
Tom
and he
is
can
really
blow.
asking is he wants it to, if you are a real superhero, you have to have your powers naked.
Yes, yeah.
I'm being serious.
Without the aid of some external magic force. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not the superhero. You are the owner of the superpower, which is the ring or the suit.
Or the staff.
Or, or Dr.
Well, yeah, but you have to meet, like Dan said, you have to have certain virtuous characteristics in order to be qualified. Like, everybody don't get the job, you know what I'm saying? So there's something to say about that. But I tend to believe I agree with you. I don't know if Robin really classifies as a superhero. The dude has zero powers.
He was
a
a boy,
at that.
right? Wasn't
You
he
know
a
what I'm
boy?
Yeah, even Batman, you could argue, like, although he has got exceptional fighting ability, there's nothing
And
super...
a boy. And he had a boy.
Yeah, there's
Like,
nothing...
let's analyze that for a second. Batman, he had a bunch of weapons, but he also drive around town with a boy in his car.
Well, although Robin Hood was a grown man. He was just a young man.
You know, I would love to drive around Orlando with a vehicle filled with weapons and a couple of young boys in there. But you're not allowed to do that.
He had a point. Some have said in the past that Batman's superpower is white privilege.
Okay, yeah.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you got to think about it. This is a dude who jumps off of buildings to beat up dudes in back alleys trying to buy nickel bags from folks, somewhere on the back of Orange Avenue.
You're right.
I don't
He
know
does
if I
hate
wanna
black
see
people. I never thought about that.
This is 72% THC. You're going to jail. Like, hold on, man. Calm down.
This is from True Leave.
You're on to something. We actually, on our podcast, New Blurred Order on YouTube, holla at your boy, we actually went down a list of superheroes that aren't or maybe shouldn't even be classified as superheroes. And we had some debates on some, like
Hawkeye.
Green Lantern was one because he didn't really, I mean, it's the ring base. We also put Shang-Chi in that same because without the 10 rings, do you really have powers? Yes, you can fight, but you're a fighter. A lot of people are a fighter. And so, yeah, you're on to something there, Tom. And that is a very, very, very nerdy question. So keep them coming. Write them down. Don't
Daniel
forget 'em.
brings up a
He
good
can't
one.
write. He's actually the strangest nerd. He's nerdy but can't read or write.
Daniel brought up a good one, Hawkeye. If you get crushed by your own snowplow, you're like, are you a superhero?
Oh my God! You know what I say? I say you're stupid if you do that. My God!
Too soon, man.
No, he's fine.
No, he's fine.
He's
I saw him
fine.
on 60 Minutes.
He's fine. You know, it would have never happened if you hadn't have been over helping. He was clearing his neighbor's driveways.
You're not actually Hawkeye.
Yeah, you don't need to
Let's
clear.
calm
You
down.
mind your business. Don't clear your neighbor's driveways. Mind your business.
Oh, real quick.
Now, let me.
Vince,
go ahead, brother.
I want to ask you about Daredevil Born Again. Because
Pull up.
What?
Pull up just means please. Let's discuss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't-
Tom thought a black guy was here with a gun. Yeah. He's like, oh God, a black guy pulled up with a gun.
It's a lot of times passed since Champs, and I've been living, I'll say, away
beg your
from
pardon?
Champs in white suburbia radio town.
He said pull up, and you're like, whoa.
Hey, it's all good, man.
So I watched the trailer because I was doing some preparation for today's segment, and the trailer looks really good. Although Daredevil, not my favorite.
Yeah.
character.
You don't like people with disabilities.
Ableist.
Yeah.
Well, Daredevil, Professor X. There's
Yeah,
a lot
he doesn't like
of
that. Yeah.
I'm like,
He would,
But
but would you
what's wrong with you?
would you watch a show where they're roommates?
Daredevil and Professor X?
Yeah, but they have no wheelchair ramp, and the furniture is all standard. It's all standard. There's nothing.
And there's no braille in the house.
There's
It's
literally
just-
no accessibility help at all, because
So anyway, what do you think about the new Daredevil Born Again?
All right. Well, I'm glad it's a good question. Obviously I haven't seen it because I ain't come out, but the concern from those of us who are fans of Daredevil because of the show that came on Netflix is, will Disney Plus give us the same product? Because Netflix Daredevil was,
it
and
went
I'm
hard.
gonna go on record and say this, was the best Marvel show on Netflix.
It went so hard, right? Like
It
that. Yeah, it was
Bro.
good. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't.
Yo, Tom,
Go watch it. It's good.
I don't normally spoil things, but I think that I
It's
think
been
that
out a
it's fair to
long
say that
time, man.
I can tell you this without it spoiling the show, but there will be at a random moment sometime throughout the season, and Daredevil has been consistent with this all 3 seasons. They'll pick a moment where Daredevil will do a live fight scene, and it'll last like 10 minutes, bro.
Epic.
In the first season, he was in the hallway and he was beating up these thugs in the hall. He went into their room, you hear him, and then he gets thrown into the hall, and they don't move the camera.
Yeah,
They
it's like a
don't move-
one
they
shot.
Keep the camera right there, and they show him he's fighting so much he starts getting tired. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to take a break. He'll beat somebody up and he'll knock him out. Somebody else will come up to him and he'll be like on the wall, like trying to catch his breath. And then they'll come back and he'll sit there and knock him out. And this is he's doing it with the blindfold on his head. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so
it's
you're
cool.
like, oh my God. And then the second season he does it out of an elevator, and you're just like, whoa, like these are really, really good fight scenes. Bloody, you hear bones cracking, it's crazy. And so I'm just nervous that Disney, because of their squeaky clean image, even though they have even though they have Deadpool and some other rated R stuff on their site right now, those aren't Disney Plus productions. Disney owns Marvel, but these are Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds did that. So I'm just nervous about whether or not they can reproduce the same magic, the same violence, the same fight scenes, the same that we got from Netflix. And this is a very, very, very significant canary in this coal mine, because if this doesn't give us what we want, then we ain't looking forward to no Luke Cage or no Jessica Jones, or especially not no Iron Fist. So there's a lot riding on this Daredevil Born Again. So they gotta come correct, Disney. We watching.
There you go.
But we watching to see if you can at least uphold the tradition
When did
of Daredevil being a badass.
When did Daredevil's first season? Because that's the only one I've seen. When did that come out?
I want to say 2008, 9.
It's old. But it was, I remember
It's been a
thinking,
while.
I remember being blown away at how violent it was. Like, I remember thinking, like, oh, wow. And that was before we had any of these other shows like The Boys or Invincible or any of these other, like, hyper-violent,
Well,
2015 was what it says online.
2015.
And then it laid way for The Punisher, which was even more violent.
Yeah.
It just had this whole little Netflix universe, man. It started with Jessica Jones, and it just kept going. So yeah, that's my take on whether or not Disney's Born Again Daredevil is going to be good. It has to at least equal the same level of gore, violence, and action that we got from Netflix. If not, then it's going to get pushed into the same corner that all the rest of Disney shows is coming out with right now, like the whole Agatha and, you know, and all these other shows.
The chat room is giving you a little bit of help. Fashino says the Disney preview for Daredevil Is It Born Again has a fight scene with a breaking of an arm. They're hoping that it keeps it similar. So maybe that's some.
It looked violent in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like I saw the arm break in half, and it was pretty violent. I looked at it. And
maybe they put that in there for because they're like, damn, we gotta.
Yeah, they know.
Because I do feel like. Tell me if you feel this way, Vince. I do feel like when you say this is make or break for Disney, I kind of feel that way because do you guys watch Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes
not unless it's one of these shows, right?
I don't know of many of my friends that really watch it. Now, maybe I get on there for there's some sporting events that it somehow get in there. I don't know how that works or whether it's I don't know why. Sometimes I find Andrea's got it on there, but I don't use it. Like maybe Bob's Burgers, I'll use it for Bob's Burgers.
But
that's
on
it.
Hulu too, so you know.
Yeah, you could go Hulu with that. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's important for them to hit this one.
And in addition to that, good reporting. There are also reports that they have stopped the potential projects that they had on the ballot moving forward, and that they want to limit their productions until they can kind of get themselves right on the right track.
Yeah.
So we're not getting like another Eternals. We're not getting like another. There's like a few different shows. I don't have them all on the top of my head right now, but there's a different direction that they're trying to go. But this shows that they're trying to at least keep something on the streaming devices. But it's going to rest because I mean, look, Daredevil. I didn't like Daredevil. You know, that's one of the things that Marvel did so well was that they made you like characters that you didn't know whether or not you liked or not. Like everybody's not Spider-Man and Iron Man. And so Daredevil, this blind dude who jumps off buildings, that doesn't make any sense. But they made him so believable. Like he's always hurt. You will never, even in a courtroom, like he's got a black eye.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not, like the fact that he's vulnerable, that he can be hit, and he's always hurt. He's always icing himself. He's always like got cracked ribs, and like he's never presented himself as some super overwhelmingly powerful superhero. Makes it relatable, and I think that's what makes Daredevil work. Luke Cage didn't have that. He's bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
But he's black, so there's a little twist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking very much forward to. And Charlie Cox, chef's kiss. Nobody could have played this role better.
Yeah, I totally agree. A fun fact: I had a 6.5-inch Daredevil action figure as a young boy.
I'm so glad that's how that sentence ended.
Yeah. Well, that way that would have gone. I have a 3.25 inch. But no, I had a 7-inch or 6.5-inch Daredevil action figure from the original Marvel, and it came with that little gray baton, and that thing got sucked up in my mom's vacuum about 18,000 times. She hated it. It was the toughest little gray baton. It would always get sucked up right in the Kirby. I'd pull it out, put it in Daredevil's hand.
Real quick, Vince, I read on an article that the Marvel Disney bought the rights to X-Men. And they're talking about like when the Marvel universe ends, they'll start doing X-Men, and then people predict that soon, soon, meaning like years from now, there'll be some sort of X-Men Marvel, like X-Men versus Marvel, whatever characters we're going to see.
Avengers, you mean?
Avengers, sorry. Yeah. Marvel characters. Or Marvel is X-Men.
It's like your grandpa talking about Biggie Smalls.
God damn it.
Which one is West Side and which one is East Side?
Run DMC and MJ.
Avengers versus X-Men. So do you know anything about that?
Well, I know that there's plenty of comics that have the Avengers versus the X-Men, and I've heard about it, and this is something that's rumored and floated around, but I can just say right now that I think they need to pump the brakes on this. I think the X-Men are in disarray. All right, they had a really good run with the First Class cast that they had.
It was good.
But then when they tried to go into the mutants and try to go into the Apocalypse series, it just fell flat. You know, Days of Future Past was the last, in my opinion, the last fairly decent X-Men production. And they, in my opinion, need a complete reboot. It was trash, the one where Sansa from Game of Thrones played Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Terrible. I mean, most people didn't even make it through that movie. So my opinion on the X-Men is they need to consider doing Avengers style movies where they highlight one person, one mutant, instead of kind of give me the X-Men origin, Logan, Wolverine type of movies. We want to see a Storm movie, like not a Storm production where she's amongst the cast and everybody else is in it. No, we want to see Aurora Monroe all by herself. We want her origin story, her Kenyan background that mixed with Brooklyn. We want to see her get her flowers instead of being mixed in this big old X-Men salad. We want to maybe give us Jubilee, maybe give us some Scott Summers. Give us the Summerses are like the matriarchs of the X-Men. Like there's so many Summers. Like Scott Summers he's got a daughter, he's got a brother, he's got a mom. Like there's so many ways you can go with the X-Men instead of just trying to give us the X-Men animated series on screen, which that series was phenomenal, by the way.
Get some
X-Men.
Mark Summers from Double Dare in there. How about that? Real quick, because I know you got to go. What do you feel? How do you feel about them casting country music superstar Jelly Roll as Juggernaut?
Is that true?
No, I made that up. I made it. I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
Well, oh my God, I would
Big
not
fat
like
Juggernaut.
that.
I'd watch it. I'd watch him do that.
Blob, I could see, but
Yeah.
well, shoot, I done forgot old boy name already. What's my man who was with the oxygen tank? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Dave Blunt.
Dave Blunt could be. There's a character named Mojo. He's green. he could be a perfect Mojo because Mojo doesn't sit.
Did you
He's like
see-
attached to his room? You know what I'm saying?
Have
So
you
that'd
seen
be
Dave
perfect, but-
Blunt? Have you seen? Okay, so Dave Blunt is this super overweight rapper, right?
Yeah.
Who performs with an oxygen tank on stage, and he had this girl that got on stage with him at I think it was at Wiz Khalifa's big party or whatever, and he was on stage. Well, the girl sat on the couch with him. He must have paid her to do that, but he told everybody it's his girlfriend, right? So everybody's blowing up her Instagram now, and they're like, "Why aren't you with Dave?" or "Why are you cheating on him?" and stuff and she's just in the Middle East somewhere.
Or she was like, that's not my boyfriend.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't say anything because I guess he probably told her don't say anything. Or
Oh, okay.
yeah. Go follow that. It's fun.
NDA.
This is what I do on the toilet, Vince.
Again, the new Blurred Order podcast.
We've been recording a lot
Can I
today.
say something? One last thing. real
Please,
quick?
yeah. Say anything you want, man.
It's in the field of what y'all were talking about, and it's just in preparation for the upcoming Captain America movie on February 14th.
Oh, that looks
I don't know
good.
if y'all know. But
Yeah.
A Brave New World.
That looks good with Harrison
Anthony
Ford,
Mackie.
Red Hulk.
Yeah, it's Red Hulk, Harrison Ford, probably his. This could be. You know what I'm saying? Harrison Ford's like
When he
180 years
changes,
old. You know
when
what
he
I'm saying?
changes, the Red Hulk has one little earring.
What
Stupid
is
dork.
that?
What a dork.
A big pill cabinet. Yo, I just want to say that I am going to see this movie because I'm a huge fan of Marvel, but I can't help but feel like this movie won't get as much of a chance to succeed, all because Anthony Mackie is not as sexy as Chris Evans was. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong with that, but I just get this feeling that Anthony Mackie is kind of being ugly shamed a little bit, or
Yeah.
like he's not getting the same respect he should. Like
As
if
old
he was
Pierre. What
Chris
if he-
Hemsworth
what
or
if he was
somebody,
Pierre?
I feel like because he looks like a chipmunk a little bit and his cheeks is kind of fat and he doesn't have that ill sex appeal that Aaron Pierre has.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work against him at the box office, and I think that's unfair for guys like us that aren't dimes.
Yeah.
I'm speaking.
Yeah. Those of us that aren't even pennies. Come on.
Yeah, but people are going to see that movie to watch Red Hulk versus Green Hulk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the draw
There's no
is.
Green Hulk in this.
Oh, there isn't?
No.
Oh.
This is Captain America versus Red Harrison Ford one earring Hulk.
Okay. The Green Hulk doesn't show up?
Not in this one.
Oh.
Nah. Red Hulk is General Ross. He was he was formerly played by Will shoot,
Ferrell.
his name escaped me, but he passed away.
He's
So
played by
Harrison
Will
Ford jumped in and
Ferrell.
played his role.
Oh, I thought they were going to have like a Hulk versus Hulk fight, and that was the whole thing.
No.
Nah,
This one is-
and
this
I
one
won't
is-
spoil it. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty confident I know what's going to happen, so I won't spoil it. But let's just say, don't expect the Red Hulk to soak up the bulk of the movie. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Once that earring's out, he dies. You pull the earring, it's like it's his Achilles heel.
It's just into the area, but yeah. Man, I'm looking forward to that.
You got it. Hey, Vince, we love you, man. Thanks for being on the show, buddy. We
Yeah,
appreciate
you're
you
gonna
doing
do-
guys.
this.
Thanks,
You
man.
doing any
Good luck.
stand-up anytime soon?
Do I got any shows? My shows aren't too local. I'm going to be jumping back on the boat here pretty soon, so I might not be available for a little bit. But I do have some stuff coming up in Volusia County, something coming up in Orange County. Those will be posted on my page. I don't even know what they are exactly on top of my head, so you caught me off guard. But yeah, the Real Vince Taylor on Instagram and the New Blurred Order Instagram and the website will have all of these dates. So holla at your boy. And MegaCon's coming up too, so we'll see you there.
Yeah, we're gonna get some guests from that, and maybe I'll email you because I might have something we'll do with that. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Vince.
All right, man. Take care, Tommy.
Later,
Take care,
man.
Dan. Good to
see
you.
Good seeing you too.
All right.
Always.
So we will see you on Monday.